Oh, I'm back. I'm back, baby. On the Marauder because it hasn't been out for a while. I took it out to do Uber last night and didn't swap my bikes back over this morning. No, I stayed at my girlfriend's, but I couldn't be bothered to swap my bikes back over. So the Marauder is out maybe for like a week or something. I think I'm going to be intermittently doing Uber and obviously taking this bad boy to work. But I have a subject that I want to get onto, and it is YouTube channels that restore cars and restore motorbikes and claim that they're barn finds. I'm all for the like barn find and restoring old vehicles, obviously giving them, rejuvenating them, giving them new life, making sure they're not just sat there to rot for years to come. That's a very cute dog. Hi. Oh, motorbike. But the one thing that I don't like about these barn find YouTube channels, now given there are a few, there are good ones like Derek, Vice Grip Garage, he restores cars, goes in goes in depth into it and shows you the process, like 2-hour-long videos of him restoring a car. Sometimes it's successful, a lot of the time it's successful, other times it's not. And then the Bearded Mechanic for people restoring motorbikes, very good channel. You can tell that he goes really in depth, he has to order parts. Some of the bikes that he's had have taken months to like restore and get running and whatever. Wonderful, I'm all for it, they're the channels I love. But there's some that I watch that it's obvious that they've wet the vehicle down, whether it be a motorbike or a car, doesn't really matter, covered it in some kind of dust, left it to set, so it's obviously like a thicker, that's a lot of mud, so that it's like a thicker dust, and then made a, what is going on here? Made a YouTube video and called it a barn find. They annoy me, especially when it's something outlandish like this bike or car has been sat for 30 years untouched in this barn, blah blah blah, you know, hasn't been moved, and they'll go through it and be like, oh look, there's still fuel in the tank and the fuel looks fresh. That's a red flag. And then all they have to do with them, it's like a 15-minute video of them introducing it, changing the battery, and then the thing fires up like it was parked yesterday. Couple of issues with that. If it's a carbureted bike or car, as a lot of the old ones are, especially in America, they are going to require more than just a battery change to get them running. They're going to need the carburetor cleaning, they're probably going to need the fuel lines cleaning, they're probably going to need the brakes bleeding or brake lines changing because they were metal brake lines, and they're going to need the oil changing because they're not necessarily that the oil's gone bad, but you don't know how long it was before it was changed, before the thing was parked. And then another thing of a lot of the cars that you see, like with Derek and with that's the girl from my work, with Derek and with the Bearded Mechanic, is they were parked for a reason, and the reason is they didn't run. And it's not like they were parked just as the battery died and they never started again. I mean, I'm sure a couple of them are probably like that. There's probably examples of that happening, but you've got to wonder why it was parked in the first place, and then how this YouTuber has just put a fresh battery in it and it's parked off to life like it was parked yesterday, almost like it was parked yesterday. You know what I mean? As some of the videos, I've obviously bought an old bike, got it running off camera, and then proceeded to make a short video just so that they can get the views and get the traction. And it's annoying because why don't they just say that? Or why don't they say, bought this old bike, let's go for an adventure on it? You know, change the format of it. I know that Barn Find is quite a clickbaity title, and that's definitely going to be in the title of this video just so that it gets traction. But if you're going to claim that you've got a barn find car or bike, but you're not actually putting in the effort apart from buying a fresh battery and maybe some fresh spark plugs to actually sort it out, why don't you just buy an old bike and say, let's see if this thing will drive for 500 miles, or I bought this bike across the country, let's see if I can get it home, and then encounter it, like sort out any problems on the way, as opposed to saying, oh, it's a barn find, pretending to fix it and then driving it probably a mile down the road to your actual property. It's just it's one of those things that annoys me, because I really love the like sort of barn find restoration car building videos and bikes and whatever. But then you'll be watching a video, say that it finishes, you've got autoplay on YouTube, and one of those shit ones comes on, you're gonna be annoyed, because like it's so unrealistic, especially with the carbureted ones. I mean, I'm even more inclined to say that the fuel injected ones are even worse, because the passages on them are smaller than a carbureted one, and there's always fuel in it, and the amount of crud that can get in it when the fuel dries out because it's been sat for so long is even more unrealistic. That has been my TED talk about barn find YouTubers. Like I said, a lot of them are actually really good YouTube channels, and I watch them almost religiously. But yeah, it's just really disappointing when you see that that's the direction that it's gone, people pretending to get barn find vehicles. And I've also been listening to some new podcasts that my girlfriend introduced me to recently. I've been listening to them at work, and I'm currently listening to one now as I'm talking. I find music a bit too distracting when I'm trying to make one of these videos, but I didn't want to waste the precious podcast minutes that I had while I was riding and recording these videos. But I'm currently listening to a podcast called This Is Monsters, and they have YouTube videos as well, which is basically just the podcast but with pictures to go along with it, maybe a little bit of video and whatever. They've been amazing. It's pretty much like murders and stuff. He does seasons of different types, so like infanticide and oh, what's the other one? Parenticide? I don't know, where they kill the parents, and spousal, family annihilators, stuff like that. They're not super in depth compared to some of the podcasts that I've listened to, but they are really good. They are really good. I've been enjoying them while at work thoroughly, and while on my rides, because the weather hasn't been all too great recently, so I've not really been able to record because of the mic adapter getting wet and the mic will disconnect and whatnot. Make sure that it's still connected now. Oh, motorbike. Hi, friend. Old CBR, that was very nice. I've also been looking at a fuel gauge for this bike. Now, you can't really put a fuel sender in. There are some kits that are like universal fuel sender for blah 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 blah, you know, and you like wire them in, and then you have a little secondary gauge that you put on. But I've seen with some like choppers and bobbers and stuff that they put a hole in the top of the tank, put a hole like in the bottom of the tank where the petcock is, and then have a pipe going through, and that basically gauges where the fuel level is in the tank. I kind of want to try that. I think that would be pretty cool, because it'd work as like a visual fuel gauge rather than like a digital or a dial, because if it's up here, then in the pipe it'd be up there, and as it gets lower, just because of gravity, it'd go lower down in the pipe. Or if anyone knows of any sort of fuel sending units that would work, or any solution so I can actually see how much fuel I have, that'd be wonderful. If you could send me a link or leave a comment to let me know, that'd be great. I'd much appreciate that. But yeah, I'm gonna definitely do some stuff to this. I do want to bob it out a little bit. There's an exhaust that I found that goes onto it, and I saw a video of one the other day with the exact exhaust. So it's like an Amazon special one, you know, nothing crazy, nothing branded, but it did actually sound pretty cool. It looked relatively cool as well. And then I can change the air filter on this and get a pod filter, upjet it a little bit just to squeeze like half a horsepower out of it. Yeah, it should be fine. Right, I believe that's it from me. I'm pretty much at my girlfriend's house now, and in the interest of privacy, you don't need to know where that is, as every time I come by I say that. But yeah, if you watched it to the end, thank you for watching. I will be making more videos as the weather is better, but it is weather permitting, unless I do some maintenance videos, in which case I can do it in the garage and whatever. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I shall see all of your gorgeous faces next time.